Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. We start with the Princess of Pentacles. I think you're someone who is recognizing the potential in your situation. I think you're involved in something now that you know is going to be really good. The Princess of Pentacles to me has started to become a representative of that very potential. It is the dead of winter. It is something that is stark, barren, sterile, desolate. Right? It's wintertime. Nothing here. Animals have left. The plants have died off. The leaves have disappeared. It's nothingness. It's almost a wasteland, right? But you know that the verdant energy is returning. You know that life is going to blossom and grow. There will be abundance here come spring, right? In other words, the Princess of Pentacles is going to become the Empress. Okay? And I feel that you're able to see that. You're able to look at something and say, whoa, like it may not look like anything now, but it's going to be marvelous, right? Whether you're talking about, I don't know, maybe you do something with furniture, or you're someone who sort of upcycles things, renovates things, or you can take, you could take a bunch of parts and you can think, whoa, that is going to be something amazing once I put it together. Once I breathe life into this thing, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay? So I feel like you do something like that for your work or a hobby or an avocation or something like this as creative work. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you do some sort of sculpture. The sculpture where people find different things and sort of put them together, like sort of like mixed media kind of stuff, but it's more like sculpture using like found objects and things like this, yeah. Or you do some sort of renovation of like furniture or something. Maybe it could be someone who works with wood. You can see just a pile of wood and you can think, whoa. That could be a really beautiful dresser or coffee table or something like that, But you have that ability. Now, let's see what you're going to do with it or what you are doing with it, what some of the other energy is. There's the Four of Pentacles. Makes sense. You're renovating something, whether it's a house, whether it's a coffee table, or you are sculpting or putting something together using your hands, using physical sort of physical materials, okay? Got an Ace of Wands, Six of Cups, the High Priestess, and a Knight of Pentacles. Very good. The Lover's card. The Princess of Wands here, okay. Six of Swords and the Emperor card. Interesting. I feel like your life is becoming a little bit more complex. But I feel like as complex as it might feel like it's becoming, it seems like everything's falling into place. Okay? We have very, very good cards here. Right? Everything is it's a nice component. We've got a lot of fire. We've got a lot of earth. We got the really good sort of emotional state that you're in. I feel like you're really vibing with your life right now. You've got this connection with spirit. You've got this plan for the future. Well, you've got this vision for the future. I think maybe the Six of Swords, it is that plan of how to get to the future. But maybe that's a little bit where we're struggling right now. It's just formulating the plan, the step-by-step directions, the GPS directions, how to get there. Okay? But you realize that, and that's maybe something that you're working on now. I think also, Lover's card doesn't always mean romance, but sometimes it does. And in the context of this original energy that I felt, and the Princess of Wands, being able to see the potential in something, I feel like you're going to be coming together with someone or something, and you're going to feel very inspired by that because you can see the potential. You can see the future of this thing. Just as you can see a piece of wood and think, whoa, that can be the most beautiful coffee table ever. Or you can see the house and you can think, whoa, this is going to be a palace. Maybe you're someone that flips houses, or you build coffee tables, or you renovate something. You upcycle something. I think that's the word. The Lover's card here is predicting that you're coming into contact with the next thing, and this could literally be you meeting someone, and you meet that person, and you're like, whoa, I can see a future here that is stunning. Like maybe you're meeting the one, Doesn't have to be romance. It could very well be. But you're coming into contact with something that makes you go, whoa. Kind of leaving you speechless here, because the prospect for the future is marvelous, okay? And I think it's something in addition to sort of what your life is usually like, right? It feels like it's sort of making your life a little bit more complex, but in a good way. I feel like it's sort of forcing you to modify your plans of a little bit about your future, but that's okay because you're the emperor anyway. And you can easily, have multiple things going on in your life. It's not just, I got to focus on my work or my career or my school or my studies or whatever. I don't have time for friends. I don't have time for romance. I don't have time for pleasure or for self-care. No, you're the emperor. You've got time for all these different things. It's okay to have a complex life and have a lot of projects, a lot of irons in the fire. Maybe you are very focused on your manifestation, your sort of fire to earth over here with your work or your avocation or whatever this sort of renovation energy is that I feel. You're very focused on that. At the same time, you could be very inspired by something else, something sort of new, different that you want to. Doesn't have to be romance, but it is an inspiration coming your way that's going to prompt you to some new behaviors. You're going to be doing some new things that aren't part of your daily life. And I think that the Six of Swords is you incorporating some of these into your long-term goals. Long-term plans. Plans are changing a little bit. You meet somebody, you say, okay, my future is going to be a little different now. You can see the potential in this relationship. Just as you see the potential in the block of wood or in the old furniture or whatever we're talking about here. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with our little octopus friend, the Eight of Tentacles. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, all right? But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for that card, use your intuition, put something down in the comments, all right? I think it's a good exercise anyway. Let's look around the room one more time because we've got 1, 2, 3 major arcana energies. The High Priestess, trusting in the divine, trusting in your intuition, trusting in the spiritual downloads, trusting in your connection with your spirit guides. Okay? I think that is first and foremost. You're trusting in Source. You're trusting what the divine is telling you, even if sometimes we don't like it, even if sometimes it sort of leads us down a different road than we thought we were going down, saying, okay, I trust you. You're open and receptive to the messages coming in from Spirit. Okay. I also think you have a great love for animals. Yeah. The Lovers and the Emperor are sort of opposite ends of a spectrum, in a way, right? And it could be that this inspiration, if this is a romance, if this is a new love, it doesn't have to be a person. It could be we're inspired with the potential in a new friendship or a new, maybe it's an animal, right? Maybe it's just like, to me, it feels like something out of the ordinary. And the idea here is to stay in control and to not be so carried away with this new thing, this new inspiration, that we abandon what we've been working already so diligently on to achieve, okay? That you don't neglect your Princess of Pentacles because you got the Princess of Wands. The potential here in this life that you're building, the potential here in this relationship that you're building with whatever this new thing is. It all needs to be incorporated together. You need to stay in control. Right? You need to stabilize. Sometimes the Four of Pentacles is you not really wanting to do anything new, that we don't want to get out of our comfort zone, and we're not comfortable doing that, right? So we've got our majors. We've got fire. We've got a lot of earth right here. We've got a little bit of air and a little bit of or water and air, right? And it's the thinking and the feeling, the 6 and the 6, right? These are very stable. This is kind of a divine plan. This is really a sense of pleasure, a sense of harmony. This is you sort of waking up every day and thinking, I got a good life. I like this. I feel good. I feel like I'm doing the right things. I feel like things are in harmony. Things are working well. Everything's got a flow to it. One day is sort of better than the next, and this is good. And so when we have that feeling, we get this Four of Pentacles, we don't want to change anything. And it's kind of like I don't want to do anything differently because this is already, it already feels perfect. But I think with this fire energy over here, I think we're getting inspired towards something more. Okay, and the harmony and the beauty that we feel now, I feel like we have to find a way to incorporate this new thing, because if you don't, then I feel like you're going to lose that 6 of Cups anyway, because you're missing out on something that you truly want. You feel inspired by it, but if you deny yourself, then we're falling from the grace of that 6 of Cups anyway. So it's kind of it's like a catch-22. You don't want to venture outside of your Four of Pentacles, your routine, your current situation, because you don't want to jeopardize your 6 of Cups. But if you ignore this new thing, you're jeopardizing the 6 of Cups anyway, right? So we might as well err on the side of being proactive, of trying, of applying ourselves to something. And the Ace of Wands is down here, and it's sort of counterpoised against the High Priestess. Okay, so sometimes our human will, this is what I want to do. The High Priestess is telling me sort of what Spirit wants me to do, or where I'm being led, where I'm being guided, what I'm being shown. And if I trust in Spirit, I have to know that sometimes it's going to go against what I think is my will. I think you're gonna realize that it's not so different after all, But this might be, let's say, somebody that's very focused on career, and they just say, I'm not interested in romance, until they meet somebody that starts to change their mind. And then it's kind of like, well, Spirit is sort of leading me to this person, but consciously I'm trying to ignore it and trying to reject it because it doesn't fit in with my sort of current plan or current idea of what is meant for me. Sorry, I had to hit the cough button there. Okay, sorry about that. I had a bit of a tickle in my throat. Let's talk about the 6 of Cups back here. The 6 of Cups is the feeling that we've had the best day ever. Now, there's some interesting things about the Six of Cups, especially in the position where it is in the spread. It's in the past position. And sometimes we tend to look at the past and sometimes we look at the past and we feel a lot of technical difficulties today. I'm sorry. Sometimes we look at the past and we feel that these were the better days. Sometimes we look at something and we think it's a lot better than it actually was. So this is a card of memory. This is the card of how we remember something, right? This is us looking fondly at a situation and thinking, I was so happy, it was the best thing ever, and a lot of the time we sort of glorify some things that aren't really accurate, that we interpret things when we think about them. Oh, I was happy, that was perfect. And then someone else in our life maybe says, no, you weren't. That was the most miserable I've ever seen. And you're thinking, no, I loved it. It was great, right? And I've had this happen with my wife and I. Sometimes I'll think back, oh yeah, that restaurant, I love that restaurant. I have such fond memories of that restaurant. And my wife will say, really? You hated it. The food was terrible, the service was slow, it was too expensive, and whatever. And I'll be like, I don't remember any of that, So sometimes we sort of idealize things, okay? And I wonder if this is in the past position because maybe it's a feeling of you've already been there, you've already done that, you're in this routine now, and this is where you stay. That we're in this Four of Pentacles, and this is where we belong. Maybe it's the idea that, hey, I don't need love, or I don't need a relationship or a partnership. I don't need this sense of community. This is for young people. This was back in the day. This was yesterday's energy, and I'm safe and secure, and I've got this stability here where I am now. This is where Spirit has led you. And now I feel like Spirit's leading you toward another inspiration. And so I feel that we need to look at this for what it really was and be aware that this is something that we can continue to incorporate into our life, that we can have more of these peak experiences. The best days are not behind you. Okay. The best days can be right here, right in front of you. Okay, every day can be the best day of our lives. But the Four of Pentacles is a routine, and it's kind of saying, hey, I've built a life that works. Sometimes the Four of Pentacles is an unwillingness to change, an unwillingness to do anything different, to get out of this tower. It's sort of brick by brick, we're building the wall, And it can be isolating, and we can be denying ourselves. This is kind of saying, look, I don't need that stuff. I've got everything I need right here. It's like Steve Martin in that old movie, I love Steve Martin. You ever watched that Only Murders in the Building show? It's so good. Anyway. There is I think a growing recognition in your life that maybe there's more out there. Maybe there's more beyond these four walls. Yeah. And I think Spirit's leading you to that belief. I think it's time with this Knight of Pentacles to reevaluate the future. This is kind of saying that, hey, for progress, tomorrow you've got to reevaluate the future. It's interesting that the Knight of Pentacles is in the future position. That's the card that looks at the future. So it's kind of saying at some point, you've got to look at your long-term goals and see what your life is meant to look like. See what Spirit is sort of showing you as a long-term goal. Because I feel like when the Princess of Pentacles is here with that Four of Pentacles, we're not really looking down the road. We're staying in the present moment. We're doing what we do here with this. Yeah, but when are we going to reap the rewards of all of this effort? When is the princess going to allow itself to become the empress? It's kind of like we're we're trying to keep that from happening in a way. You know, and maybe because there's a sense of security in that. But I think this fire underneath you, right? We add the ace to the 4, what do we get? The 5. That we're making some changes. We realize that I can't stay in this little box anymore. And I think Spirit's trying to tell you, hey, there is more out there for you. And it's time that we reevaluate our long-term goals and start thinking of the plan to get there. It's time now that we can't stay in this 4 of Pentacles forever. Can't stay in this little cabin. It's time to get out there and see what's out there in the world for us. Okay. So we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. Doesn't cost anything. I also have a Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories channel if you want to go subscribe over there. I do 1 or 2 stories per week. It's kind of fun. Maybe check it out. The Lover's card. The Lover's card is that feeling of being inspired. That feeling of that there is some energy out there that you need. That you are committed to it, that you feel is pulling on your heart. This is a match made in heaven. This is a true love, soulmate kind of situation. This is really being inspired to that kind of energy. It's a choice. It's a choice. And it almost is as if this encounter or this meeting, or this, if it's another person, or this inspiration or realization, is trying to coax you out of this shell. Okay? And maybe this is someone that's been so focused on work that they sort of put other pleasures on the back burner. Maybe that's what the 6 of Cups is back here. It's kind of saying, oh, this isn't a priority right now. You know, and this is friendship, this is community, this is romance, love, pleasure, this is, self-care. It can be all of these things. But I think Spirit is putting something on your path that's going to make you feel that, hey, this maybe needs to take priority. That we need to bring this, take it out of the back seat, bring it in the front seat. And the Princess of Wands is the recognition of the potential. Just as the Princess of Pentacles over here we're recognizing the potential in the material things that we're involved with. I think this is us recognizing the potential in this inspiration. And if it's a relationship it is a relationship, but I don't know if it's a person or an idea or something like this, right? Realizing that there is a lot of potential there. And I think the Page or Princess of Wands matures or grows into an Emperor, just as the Princess of Pentacles or Page of Pentacles sort of grows, transforms into the Empress, right? We got fire and earth. And over here, you're realizing that potential in this situation, in this relationship. And I think in this case, the 4th mystery of the tarot, the Emperor card, is the manifestation of a life that is full, a life that you are in charge of. It's kind of like the Emperor is in charge of the whole kingdom, not just this little 4 of Pentacles section, but the entire thing. The entire life, not just a little compartment of your life, but the whole thing, all of it, right? All the stuff that maybe you're starting to realize you've denied yourself or you sort of been missing out on, or that you just have felt, I don't have time or I don't have the desire for those things anymore. Whole sections of your life closed down. It's like an amusement park with dozens of rides everywhere. Most of them are just out of order, out of order, out of order, out of order. There's like maybe 1 or 2 that are running. Everything else is shut down. Everything else is closed, boarded up, taped off, whatever. And the Emperor, I think, is realizing that we do have time and attention and energy to have a full and rich life. Now, it may take some finessing. We may have to rearrange some things. But you deserve to have a life that is full and complete. And to get there, I think that's where we run into the Six of Swords. The need for a new plan. Okay, I think that our mystery card will be the Empress energy, because of course we're going to want both sides of the coin, right? Whatever the coin may be for you. You want the Princess of Pentacles to grow into what it's supposed to become. You want the Princess of Wands to also grow and become what it's meant to become, which it does here. Maybe we should look at that mystery card. Do you think it's going to be an Empress? I think it's going to be an Empress. Put your prediction in the comments down below. Let's see. It's a Five of Swords. Five of Swords is kind of giving up before we even get started. It sort of feels as if we've accepted defeat, and it's just, we've maybe given it a little bit of thought, and we said, no, there's no way it'll work. Forget it. And it's just like, and I think Spirit's kind of nagging you, saying, no, just, you got to try it. You've got to work at it, and it'll happen. But it's kind of like we've given up too easily. Okay, I almost want to pick another one. But we can't do that. What we can do, though, is an empowerment oracle card. And let me switch my camera here so you can see. I'll try an empowerment oracle card. And it's the Sacred Fire. I am filled with passion. My energy is like a bonfire burning within. I feel energy flow through my being, and I focus this power to achieve my goals today. Okay, so it feels like these are two different goals. Okay, and this might be one particular goal that as sort of you've been working at it. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's stagnating a little bit. Maybe these goals aren't so different after all. Right? But maybe we need the inspiration to both accomplish this goal and whatever this new thing is. Maybe it's having two goals that are really two sides of the same coin. You know? Maybe it seems separate, but maybe they're not so separate after all. The Sacred Fire, filled with that passion, that inspiration. But we can't give up before we even get started, you know? We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Aquarius, Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.